Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I decided I'm going to do something a little different do a video on YouTube instead of Twitch, which is my normal location for things. So I plan on doing a speed build for Oakenstead. This is part of my Sims save file. So I'm first just kind of checking everything out here, looking around at the grounds. You'll see I don't really change too much outside. The only thing I really do is change the table that's in the pagoda. What do you call it? The little outdoor hexagon situation. But I do absolutely gut the inside and start over because I really was not happy with the layout of everything or the way it was furnished. I found it really, really dark and it didn't really fit the description. Oakenstead was described as being like modern meets traditional, but I couldn't really see anything modern about it. So that's kind of the goal of what my build was today, was to kind of bring a little bit of, modernness into it. Here I just start speeding up as I'm deleting everything. I fully got the place. So I leave the entire outside. I leave all the windows in place, all the doors, etc. But I just fully remove everything, curtains, lights, literally every single item. And yeah, so I don't know, I just decided I wanted to do something a little bit different today. I've never posted anything on YouTube before except for, school projects back in high school. But that was like 10 years ago now. So definitely stepping outside of my comfort zone a little bit. Yeah, and you can see I was like a little confused about why they had an entire third floor but didn't use it. So I decided to build stairs going up there. And you'll see I kind of took a little while to figure out exactly how I wanted my stairs. I just wasn't happy with it for a while. So you'll see this is going to take me a minute. Even in speed it up, it was a bit of a process. But anyway, yeah, so normally you can find me over on Twitch at Shelby92. Or sorry, Shelby92. Shelby172. I don't know where 9 came from. And yeah, so hopefully this may become a new thing for me to just post more videos on YouTube, especially of speed builds. So in this save file, I've already done most of the first world, and I've also done, I think, one build in the Realm of Magic world. And I've done a few builds, like I've done my dream home, a couple of my friends' dream homes, and then I've made quite a few new little townies and their homes and everything. So, yeah, this was just one of the empty homes, and it's in the wealthier area. So I definitely made this house with the goal of having, a wealthier family living in it. Which you'll see as we go. I definitely put a lot of very nice things in there. The lot ends up being around $300,000. So your sim definitely needs to build up some cash before they can live here. Yeah, and you'll see sometimes I just kind of switch to this view just to see how the flow of the floor plan is while I'm setting up the floor plan. So I'll kind of switch back and forth between that overview and the first person view. So here I'm trying to figure out how to get the Sims access into that back part of the house there. I ended up changing it quite a few times. At this point, I didn't really know what rooms were going to be which. I just knew I had kind of some idea, like this room we're looking at right now, I was thinking kitchen. So I think I just dive right in. Yep. With this kitchen build, and I really wanted to have a nice big kitchen. I'm thinking either this family or the cooks the family hires are going to spend a lot of time in the kitchen. So I wanted it to be quite large. I was trying to keep the more traditional aspect of this house by keeping the floor plan pretty... I don't know what the opposite of open concept is, but if there's a word for that, that's what I was aiming for. I figured open concept was a very modern thing, and I wanted to keep some of that traditional aspect since so much of the furnishing I did is very, very modern. So I kind of brought the outside traditional look inside with keeping all the walls and keeping all the rooms very separated. Thinking that, maybe they gutted the place but left the walls in place, and then, fully redid all the furnishing, whichever family's living here. Currently, I don't have a family made to live here, but, oh, what was I doing here? Oh, I think I stepped away from the computer for a minute here, but here I am back. Or I was thinking very hard. Not sure which one. Anyway, I haven't made a family yet, but I imagine it's going to be, obviously some parents or one parent. We'll see. Not sure yet. And 2 children. You'll see upstairs that I made 2 kids' bedrooms and a master bedroom. There's no spare bedroom, but you can always turn one of the kids' bedrooms into a spare bedroom or add one up to the 3rd floor where I ended up putting a games room. So you don't really need a full-on games room. But I figured, these kids, this family has a lot of money, so the kids are probably a little bit spoiled. Or you never know, maybe the parents are really into gaming, so I'm sure they enjoy it just as much as the kids do. Here I'm just trying to clutter up the counters a little bit, which is definitely not my forte. I kind of struggle with clutter. I usually am pretty confident putting down furniture. I usually know how I want it to look. I do some back and forth, as everyone does when they're playing The Sims, but clutter I just really struggle with. Like, I don't know. Here I'm trying to figure out where to put a bathroom, realizing, this is definitely a very narrow, long bathroom, but it ended up, lost my words there. It ends up working fairly well. What was I saying? Yeah, so clutter I just kind of struggle with. Sometimes I forget to add clutters, but in this build I was really trying to remember. So, don't forget the toilet rolls. I think I ended up forgetting upstairs and a couple of the bathrooms, but I remembered for, I think, 2 of them to put toilet rolls and towels. 2 of the 4 bathrooms that we ended up having. And you'll see the first thing I do when I start a build is I just lay down one floor color and one wall color, and then I go through afterwards and I pick wall colors. So you can see here I'm, kind of picking a new wall color, moving some windows around. I think I end up sticking with these floors though. I don't think I changed them because I really like how nice and very modern they look. This dining room caused me a lot of pain. I mean, it's such a big room, so you think it would be fine, but it ended up causing me a lot of trouble. Like, I had to move things around several times because my goal here was to make a little office. So that's what this little space behind that door is going to be, is an office. In the dining room, it was such a big space, but it looked so empty. So I knew I needed to fill it with something. So I struggled to figure out where to put this bar. It's so awkward. I never know where to put bars in The Sims. I'm like, do I put it in the living room? Do I put it outside? Do I put it in the dining room? And I usually end up putting it like in the kitchen or dining room. It's easier when your kitchen and dining room are connected, like open concept, because then you can kind of put it in between. Or I'll stick it outside. Just that way it's less in the way. But yeah, so you can see I ended up kind of just putting it in front of the door there, which is, a choice. I love these pictures. I think they're so cool. I don't think I've seen them before. I think they're custom content, but I don't know. They worked really well in this room, I thought. Here I am picking curtains. The bane of my existence, always. Yeah, so my kind of imagining for this family is they definitely are really into gaming. So there's a whole game room upstairs, and everyone has computers in the house. And then this office here is going to also include an art studio. So I'm imagining one of the parents is really into working on art, so we'll do that in a minute. I kind of switch back and forth between things here as I came up with ideas, but I really wanted to center a table in this area and give it a lot more seats. That way you can actually have, a nice group of people sitting out here. The previous table was quite small and it was off center and didn't really make much sense. So I did that quite quickly and then moved back inside. So now we're working on the office slash art studio. So I'm imagining this is maybe like just one of the parents' rooms. I'm probably going to make the Sims to fill in this house afterwards, because I do have some pretty solid ideas on who they are as people, especially because I already set up their space, right? And I feel like a space really reflects who the people are. So clearly one of them is an artist. The kids, especially, I think I made a son's room and a daughter's room. Or it could be, you know, just I think a better way to word that is there's one kid who's kind of sporty and another one who's like very clean and tidy and put together. So really it could be, you know, boy or girl or anything. But yeah, so what am I doing here? Yes, so just adding some more clutter around the room. Of course, the hardest part for me. I think I messed around with the desk for a little bit and then ended up just not doing anything. Oh yeah, I found those paint cans. I forgot that those existed, but they were absolutely perfect for this area, and I put a little dance floor down. Hopefully no dancing will actually happen on it. It's just because I thought it looked cool. Looked like a good thing to block the floor from paint. And I ended up turning this room into just a very, very sparsely decorated gym area. And that's it. That's all I did with that area. I didn't end up doing much more, because I kind of thought if you're doing a little at-home gym, you do want some space. I mean, you don't want to pack the room full. And there's not really much else for that area to be. It's mostly more of a area to walk through to get outside. So I think there was 2 doors from that room back there that go outside. For the living room, I really struggled with this room. I couldn't figure out what would work best. It was such a big space, but I didn't know how to arrange it. There really wasn't that much wall space to put like a TV on, so it had to be a freestanding TV. You can see me trying to line up the angle of the couches here, but yeah, so this ends up not looking anything like this by the time I'm done. It's completely rearranged. I love including greenery in my builds. Ooh, I love that carpet. Anyway, I love including greenery in my builds, but I feel like, yeah, I'm just so unsure of which ones to use, because I have favorites, but none of my favorites look good together, which makes it a little bit difficult for sure. Okay. Oh, and don't worry about the pot lights. That's another thing I do when I first start every single build. So I fill out the floor, fill out the walls with one color, and then I add pot lights throughout the entire house, just to, you know, let me be able to see the wall colors and the objects and everything else. And usually afterwards I go through, delete the pot lights, or if I'm keeping them, I'll just move them to a better spot. And I'll fill in the rooms with better lighting, or something that fits the theme a little bit more. And since this was a more modern build, I did end up keeping some of the pot lights throughout the house. Just thinking, you know, in a modern house, you definitely often find pot lights. See, this is where it got really awkward, where I couldn't figure out how to arrange this room. So I think I ended up just moving it over to the right like this and then leaving it there, which ended up giving it a lot better flow. And I love that little seating area right there. Oh, checking to make sure that you can walk through it nice and easily. Anyway, I love the seating area in front of this fireplace with that carpet. I think the carpet's just absolutely beautiful. And stuck a little knitting basket in there because I love when my Sims knit. I think it's just the cutest thing ever. I think there I was checking to make sure I'd done the floor, and at that point I think I was happy with it. So I went up to the 3rd floor, realized I didn't know what to do with it, and immediately left it. So now we're back on the 2nd floor, and I think what I ended up doing here is I have 3 bedrooms, so 2 kids' rooms and 1 master bedroom, and then 3 bathrooms. So there's 1 bathroom connected to each bedroom. And I also have a closet in each of the kids' rooms, and I didn't end up putting a closet in the master bedroom, but they have dressers, so should be okay. What What else? Yeah, you can kind of see like the whole outside is all landscaped. I didn't do any of that, and I'm quite bad at landscaping, so I was actually pretty happy with how it was, so I didn't change anything. I think the Sims team actually did a pretty good job on this place. I'm sure not everyone agrees with that, but compared to what I can do, it's a lot better. Anyway, so I included a couple closets here because we had a lot of space in these rooms. And I pretty much just made identical bathrooms. My bathrooms are often quite identical, just because I struggle a little bit to make bathrooms look unique, unless I have a really large space, in which case I'll kind of switch it up a little bit. So you'll see I switch it up for the master bedroom's bathroom. Here I am just rearranging some pot lights, and I think I ended up keeping the pot lights up here because I thought it would make sense for the bedroom floor to have all pot lights. And here, yeah, I kind of switched up the bathroom a little bit, tried to give it a little bit more shape, or fun arrangement is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, adding some clutter. I got some soap, some toothbrushes, towels. I think I remembered the toilet paper this time, so that's good. Yeah, some towels, some bath bombs, and soaps in a jar. I love those custom content pieces. I definitely build with a lot of CC. It's probably a bad habit, but I don't know, I just love it. So yeah, if anyone wants access to these builds and wants to be able to actually get the pieces that I put in there, I can always share my CC folder. So maybe I'll do that at some point. I'll post my CC folder and link it on my Twitch and YouTube. I really struggled with wall colors in this house, but I ended up absolutely loving this blue in this master bedroom. You'll see later I hang these pictures that are just so beautiful against this blue color. Oh, and I did something I almost never do, which is I double rugged. But I thought it just looked so cool. And so cozy in this room, despite it being all cool toned with the blue. It still just felt like super cozy in the room by the time I was done. I almost forgot curtains too. You'll see in a minute. I'm like, oh no, and then I add a whole ton of curtains. I think I put one on every window of this floor so that I wouldn't forget. Again, here I am trying to add some clutter. It's a little rough. Those CC lamps are one of my absolute favorite pieces of CC. I think they're so beautiful. They're like this lovely gold color, and it comes in other colors too, but they're so nice. Yes, okay, here we are. So these CC paintings just look so gorgeous on the blue wall. I've used them in a lot of builds, but normally I use them when in like a very neutral toned room. So I've never seen them against the dark wall before, but they were just absolutely gorgeous. You'll see when I do the little walkthrough, you'll see it up close, and it's just so beautiful. So here I have, kind of a very blue toned room, which has a little bit more clutter in it. But still some very like expensive looking furniture, just because of course, this family's pretty well off, so I imagine that they're gonna buy some nice things for their kids. And I love that dresser. I think it's just so beautiful. And then we have, of course, just some Sims stuff as well, Max's stuff, not just CC all over the place. I promise I can build without CC. I just don't like to because I love my CC so much. There's just, so many really talented creators out there who just create such beautiful pieces. It's, I love it. Oh, this is something I struggle with, is trying to get furniture to line up in a way that it doesn't obstruct the curtains. Like the curtains will look like it's going through the furniture if you put it all the way up against the wall. So I had to line up that dresser carefully. But but I often miss that, especially if I'm like if it's a build that I'm playing in. Sometimes I'll just be like, oh, it's fine. I'll just let the curtains go through the object. Like I think downstairs in the kitchen of this build, I have curtains that go through the counters, but I was like, oh, it's fine. If you don't look too closely, no one will notice. This third floor gave me a little bit of grief, so I ended up turning it into a games room after thinking about it for a while. I left it till last because I was just super unsure of what to do. You can see me trying to add a sauna, but it's just not working. And I didn't really decorate this room very much. I just figured, it's probably a room that's, guests aren't hanging out in that much unless, they're just gaming, at which point, it's probably going to be during a party or something. They probably don't care if there's not a whole lot of decorations in this room. Plus, I wanted to try to control the budget of the house a little bit because it was already getting very, very expensive with all these things in it. So here I'm just kind of checking to see if there's anything else to do in this build. I changed it to red at the last moment, and I really, really love that I did that. I think it just adds a lot of character to the room instead of it all being, that very light neutral color like the rest of the house. So so now I'm just adding some last minute touches and saving, and then it was time to tour. So the outside, I added this table. I think it was such a good change from before. I love all this landscaping and the flowers and the trees, so I just left that, of course. The whole outside of the house really was just perfect. I barely had to change anything. And yeah, so here's the view of the kitchen. We walk through into the dining room, which has the bar, and behind the bar is our office / artist studio. Kind of running into walls a little bit here with the visuals, but you kind of get the picture. But yeah, I think in the end, the house has really beautiful flow. Like going from one room to the next just feels very natural, in my opinion. Love that toilet. I think it's so fun. And then we go upstairs. Ooh, lots of stairs stacked on top of each other. And there's the master bedroom and the 2 kids' rooms. So in the master bedroom, we can see that that art against the wall is just so pretty. I realized the TV was off. Whoops. And the bathroom turned out pretty good. And then the kids' rooms, it's kind of hard to see with this view, but I think it turned out pretty cute. And I kind of purposely didn't put too much art on the walls because I wanted it, especially for the kids' rooms, to be decorated by the kids. So I imagine that if I were playing in this build, my children would be making the art that hangs in their bedroom. You know how they can make art at the craft table or whatever. So yeah, I just kind of left the walls in the kids' bedroom blank for that reason. But yeah, so that's about it for this build. I'm really happy with how it turned out. There's kitchen, dining room, office, the little sitting room, living room, bathroom, the little gym area, and stairs upstairs. Then we have this nice hallway area leading master bedroom, master bath, the 2 kids' rooms and their bathrooms and closets. And then upstairs we have the game room. And that's it. So yeah, thank you so much for hanging out, and I'll see you next time. Please check out my Twitch at Shelbay172 and like and subscribe.